What's going on, guys? It's Coaching with Because of Why, your youth life coach. And today I want to talk about a really important topic, mental toughness. Now, when you first think of this topic, what do you feel? What do you hear? You may hear going to the extreme, being an extremist, or really being harder on yourself, never being satisfied. I agree with most of that, but I want to talk about very specific examples of mental toughness. Because mental toughness, the way I see it, it's more about discipline. Showing up when you don't need to show up, doing the work, doing what's required even though you don't have to, not giving up on yourself. You're still showing up for yourself even if no one shows up for you. You're still believing in yourself even though no one is believing in you. You're still outworking everyone. You're out caring everyone, out loving everyone. You're going to extreme lengths to set the standard in your life. And I love saying that right there. Set the standard because we're surrounded in a society of so many average people. Everyone's a sheep. Everyone follows each other. And don't get me wrong, in order to be a great leader, you have to be a great follower. But a lot of people don't make that next step to becoming a great leader. And they just remain as a follower. Or if they are just a follower, they follow the wrong people with the wrong advice, the wrong suggestions, the wrong blueprints, the wrong everything of how to do this, how to do that. They're listening to the wrong people. You see, but mental toughness is really doing what is required. It's discipline. It shapes you who you are. It builds your character. It increases your confidence because you're putting so much work into what you do. You are essentially what you've built based on your beliefs, based on what you think about yourself, based on what you think in general. All your ideas, everything makes you who you are. But it's interesting because a lot of the youth today don't have that mental toughness aspect. A lot of them wait for their parents to make their own decisions for them. A lot of them don't even have the full confidence and capability of believing in themselves. They can't even make their own decisions. When they get to a checkout line at Target, they just freak out and they're like, I don't know what to do. I mean, it's like that funny situation when you're in the Target or Walmart checkout line and your mom is like, hey, stay right here. I'll be right back. And she leaves and then you're up the next in line. You're like, I don't got a credit card. How am I going to pay for this? Mom, where are you at? I'm about to cry. But a lot of youth today, a lot of kids are just so scared of just talking with someone, being social with someone, having the confidence in themselves, the confidence in what they say, confidence in what they do. And it's like they're so afraid to make mistakes that they don't even take the first step. They think about it and they're like, no worries. I've heard from so many kids, and it may be you who is listening to this. They wanted to try out for basketball practice, and they may have seen the competition, they may have seen the work that's involved. And they're like, oh, no, that's not for me. Never mind. Don't worry about it. Why don't you want to try out? Oh, I'm just not feeling anymore. No. There's a specific reason for that. But I want to talk to you today about how mental toughness shapes your character. It shapes who you are as a young person, as a young individual. If you know how to develop that mental toughness, this skill, yes, it's a skill because you continually build it every single day, you will become an unstoppable human as you develop, and I guarantee that. Mental toughness is everything. It's your internal strength. I actually used to do this intentionally. Carmen and I would work throughout the entire day on our business, and I would come back and it would be like 9 p.m. And that's when I would be really, really, really exhausted. I'm like, dude, I need to sleep. I'm ready to just go to bed, take a shower, I'm done. But I always tell, this is how I built my own mental toughness. I'm doing what is most uncomfortable to me. But it built this skill of mental toughness that when challenges and stress arises, I'm quick to find a solution. I'm quick to rise up and become resilient. So when I came back and it was 9 p.m., I forced myself to run a mile every single night. Now, I could have ran a mile in the morning, I could have ran a mile in the middle of the day, but I ran every night intentionally at 9 p.m. when I was the most exhausted. Now, you may ask, Coach, Nick, why the hell would you do that? Well, I want to tell you something. There's people who are known as the 1%ers, the elite, and there's people who are known as the 99%, the sheep. The elite versus the sheep. Who do you want to be? Mental toughness is doing what you don't want, but you know you must. You want to build yourself gradually, not just physically, but mentally. Mental toughness. You're mentally prepared for the challenges and the setbacks, the struggles that come in life because you're intentionally doing it. And this is why I stress the importance of going to the gym, working your body out. If you don't have a gym and you're young and you're like, hey, my parents can't drop me off, oh, I don't have money to go to the gym. Hey, I've heard all the excuses, man. Stop making the fucking excuses and go work out in your room. Go to a nearby park. Go outside of your house. Go in the backyard. Go do push ups. You can do bodyweight exercise and they still kick your butt. They kick my ass every single time I do it. So there's no excuses as to why you can't go to the gym or get physically fit as a young individual. You definitely can. I'll tell you one thing is that my dad, he was my leader when I was younger in middle school. I was overweight, dude. I was severely overweight. I did not deal with my problems, so I just ate, and that's all I knew. So he took me to the track, my middle school track, every single day, and I ran like 1 or 2 laps, and then I started running a mile every single day. You see, the thing is with mental toughness, people think that you have to David Goggins it the first day, run 30 miles the first day. You can, but you're gonna end up quitting. Why did I say that? Because your mental capacity is just it thinks in the future of, do I have to do this every single day, every single week, every single month? This is gonna kill me. Of course, you can still do it. You can have the discipline, but start small. I don't know how many people have said this. So many people start with the big ass loaf of bread instead of the crumbs. Start with the crumbs first. And when you get to the crumbs, you've mastered it, then you can move on. You see, a lot of people try to start at the master level in life instead of starting at the beginner level. People are so afraid of being a beginner. To me, I honestly believe it's being in the unfamiliar, being very uncomfortable to be new at something. Everyone doesn't like new things. I mean, if you're a young individual right now, you're a teenager, and you just don't have the confidence in you. When you walk into a room, you haven't met anyone in your life, but you don't walk in that room like you own that room, then you need to work on yourself. Build that mental toughness. Because that's where your confidence comes in, man. Is when you walk into somewhere, a new environment, a new place, a new sports, a new club, a new area, a new anything, but you're fully confident in yourself that you are going to be your very freaking best. You're going to do your best, and you're going to do whatever it takes to outcompete everyone. Now, you can compete with everyone, but really compete with yourself. Who are you today? Who the fuck are you today, man? Do you want to be a leader today? Do you want to be the person who makes excuses for a living? Or do you want to be the person who makes things happen for a living? That choice is totally up to you, man. You can be a leader today or you can be a follower. Now, there's a day where you're going to have to graduate from being a follower to a leader. But again, that's totally up to you. What separates a leader from a follower are essentially excuses, blaming, complaining, negativity, pointing fingers at everyone. Dude, you're in control of your life. You are fully responsible for your own life. And you can become the leader in whatever you do. But many times we just don't understand it or we're not aware of it. You see, with mental toughness, there will be a time where you want to give up. But when you want to give up, that's your old limiting beliefs, that limiting fence, that barrier that's telling you, come on, Nick, you don't need to run anymore at night. You're already fit. You don't need to do this. And I kept telling myself this when I was running late at night, every night intentionally when I was exhausted. My mind would be like, oh, Nick, you don't need to do this. You don't need to run. Come on, man. You're already fit. You already got your endurance. You know, no one else is doing this right now. And I'm like, good. I'm going to keep running. Why? Because this is making me stronger. When I feel the comfortability, my barrier, my comfort zone trying to close me in, that's when I push harder. And that's what you have to do. Because that's when your mind right there wants to sabotage you. That's called self-sabotage. Hey man, when there comes a time, there's always going to be a time where you want to quit, when you want to give up, when you just want to throw in the towel, throw it all away. But that's where champions and greatness happens. That's where they're made. Leaders are made in this, right here in this moment. Whether you choose to continue or you choose to give up, like a follower, like a sheep. If you want to become an elite leader, you plow through whatever it is that you're struggling with. And that's where your breakthrough moments happen. When you don't want to do the things, but you do it anyways. Because you stop thinking about it, how it's going to hurt, how much work you got to put in, but you just do it anyways. And it always, always, always pays off. The thing about mental toughness, man, is that it always pays off in the future. If you go to school right now and you put your ass into it, your blood, your sweat, your tears into your schoolwork, guess what? You're going to get amazing results out of your schoolwork, right? Now, let's say you're in soccer practice and you practice outside of soccer practice you're going the extra mile, you're doing more than what needs to be done, you're going to become one of the greatest. Why? Just imagine if everyone on soccer practice, they practice one time a week for 2 hours, you practice every single day for 2 hours. Look at the total difference right there. Your huge competitive advantage is just thinking your mind. You're telling yourself, I'm going to practice every single day for 2 hours while everyone practices one day a week for 2 hours. So 2 times 7, 2 hours times 7 days is a total of 14 hours a week that you're practicing in soccer while they're practicing 2 hours a week. Look at the huge difference. Now, if you want to make it big, that's what you have to do. You have to be willing to put in the work because the work instills your worth. You start to feel more worth it. You develop that courage, that love for yourself, the self-worth in your life when you realize that you are putting the effort in, you are putting the work in. But why do a lot of young people nowadays have zero work ethic? Because no one is telling them what to do. I've witnessed this in basketball practice. I've witnessed this in our own coaching. I've witnessed this in all different types of sports, academics, clubs, societies, and institutions, organizations, where everyone says to the youth what not to do instead of what to do. Well, I'm here to tell you of what to do. Develop that mental toughness aspect of you, of getting shit done when you know it needs to be done. Stop being lazy. Stop procrastinating. Because when you push it back, you're only hurting yourself. You're hurting your relationship with yourself. And then when you tell yourself that you're going to commit to something, you don't believe yourself. Why? Because you didn't do it in the past. You didn't execute on it. Instead, you quit. You gave up. You threw in the towel when you didn't have to. But when you tell yourself this new commitment, yeah, I'm going to start working out every single day. But in the back of your mind, you're like, come on, man, that's not true. You're bullshitting me right now. Why would that come up? Because you did that in the past. But this is your moment to change. This is where the breakthrough happens. Where you don't have to go to that comfort zone anymore. You don't have to be like that. You can completely change right now. And I want to talk about how now you must have a why in the type of energy you put in developing mental toughness. You see, when I ran every night at 9 p.m., my intention was to build that mental toughness, right? But I always ask myself, why am I doing this? I'm so exhausted. I feel like I'm pushing my limits. That's good. But why am I doing this? Because I want to lead myself. And I want to do exactly what I preach. What I tell other kids, to go outside of your comfort zone, do it when you're tired. That's when you build that amazing skill and characteristic of being mentally tough. That's when you build it right there. My why was so huge that the mental toughness part just came. Guys, you have to know that your motivation is not someone else. It's your why. When you ask yourself why you do what you do, that's the bottom line. That's what it is. So I want to end with, what is one tough situation that you are currently challenged with right now? And I want you to push through it. And I want you to let me know how you're doing it and how you're going to tackle it today. Okay, I want to thank you guys for listening today. And hey, I want you to hang in there. Get school done, get your sports done, but don't be like everyone else and be average. Go the extra mile. You must set the standard in your life because no one else is going to set the standard for you. It's like what David Goggins says, man. I hope this resonates with you. We operate out of 40% in our gas tank of our knowledge, of our effort, of our energy, our blood, sweat, and tears. 40% when we think we're at our 100. When you're at that barrier of, I can't do this anymore, I don't know about this, stop that shit. Push just one more time. You have 60% left in your gas tank. Just push. Guys, I hope you have the best day of your life. I'm Coach Nick with Because of Why. I want you to be the elite leader in your life. Go out today and set the standard.